Hi, everyone. Well, since the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series number 11 is still fresh in my head from the last review, let's review another sample from our New York City meetup, which is also from the Bardstown Bourbon Company, and this one is Discovery Series number 8. And this sample is courtesy of my friend Bourbon Barry. If you've watched my videos, you know what a fan I am of Bourbon Barry. I mean, the list goes on of all his great content. Just to name a few, Science Saturday. I mean, that's just must-see TV. That's must-see TikTok video. Wistery, always interesting facts there. He does amazing blinds. I loved all his weed awards in the past. Even his reruns are amazing. Anyway, he's got great content. If you're not following Bourbon Barry, you absolutely need to follow Bourbon Barry. He's a great guy, great content. Definitely follow Bourbon Barry. So I thought it did make sense to review this one next because, again, I did just review the Discovery Series number 11. It's kind of in reverse order in terms of the way that they were released, but I thought this would be good. I did not save any of the sample. I enjoyed it so much, but I do remember it's pretty recent. It was my last review. So the deal is this with Discovery Series number 8. This is 114.1 proof, a few points lower than the last sample. This is a little bit different. I just love the complexity of these Bardstown bourbon companies, the mash bills, the ages, and the blending. It's amazing. Basically, here's the facts real quick. So the distillery, in this case, it's sourced from undisclosed Indiana, Kentucky, and Ontario, Canada distilleries. So since we're going kind of back in time here, my take of that is that they had less distillate of their own, because in Discovery number 11, they're using some distillate of their own and some undisclosed. In this case, it's all undisclosed, and you get Indiana, Kentucky, and Ontario. The age, it's a blend of 6, 7, and 12-year-old whiskeys, and the mash bills get very interesting. It's a blend of 4 mash bills. So the first one is 66% of this is 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon, 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. 17% of this is 7-year-old Indiana rye, 51% rye, 45% corn, 4% malted barley. The third one, 11% of this is 12-year-old Ontario whiskey, Canadian whiskey, 100% corn. And last is the 6% is 6-year-old Indiana rye, 95% rye, and 5% malted barley. So that's a lot of information to unpack. But what I take from that, and I'm going to know in a minute, is I feel that this is going to be a much more rye-forward pour than the 11 that I had, because I remember I remarked that, it was kind of like an average of around, 13% rye in, I think, like 2 out of the 3 mash bills or whatever it was. There was rye in it, but I think that this, given the fact that you have 2 ryes on its own, just like that, and then one of those ryes is almost 95% rye, and even the bourbon has rye in it. So you have 2 out of the 3 of these that have rye, and 2 of them are straight ryes on their own. So I expect this is going to have a lot more spice. This is going to be a lot more rye forward. If I had to take a prediction, knowing my taste, I probably would say that I may not like this as much as Discovery number 11, because when rye gets up to a certain point, there have been some exceptions. I'll tell you one exception right away, where I love the rye, and that was a Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye. But it's not that way in every case. So let's, as always, be open-minded. I'm just saying, just as a general fact, I am expecting this to be significantly rye forward. So rather than guess anymore, let's just get this in a glass and get started. Okay, so we poured about half in the glass. And by the way, as I always say when I've reviewed anything that Bourbon Barry gave me, I love these Liquid Ministry sample glasses that he's got. I definitely got to look into getting this on my own. It's a very cool look, and definitely love these. So anyway, let's get right into this. I'm going to give this a nose right now. All right, I'm right off the bat. It's kind of my predictions coming true, at least as far as the amount of it. I can tell off the bat there's definitely more rye in this. But I'm also getting, a bunch of other scents. Certainly it's corn. No doubt. Again, 11% is 100, just on its own. There's also 100% corn from that Canadian whiskey. So you're getting a balance, and there's a bourbon that has 78% corn. So this is going to be a lot. And even let's just be fair, to back up, one of the Indiana ryes is barely a rye. It's 51% rye, just making it. So you have just as much as you have a lot of rye forwardness here, you do have a lot of corn too. So let's kind of be fair. It is going to balance itself out. So while I'm getting the rye spice, there is I can certainly get the sweetness of the corn, getting some oak. All right, let's get right into the taste. Cheers. Oh yeah. Total rye bomb right there. I mean, that's a nice finish. I'm not saying that in a bad way. My taste has been evolving. Aside from also higher proofs, I have been liking higher rye bourbons, and as I mentioned, some straight ryes themselves. But you can definitely taste a bunch of rye spice here. And at the same time, it's also sweetness too. I think it's a good balance. But there is spice and pepper. You got a lot of rye notes at the same time, which is balanced with some sweetness. Very nice, as I remember with the Discovery 11. Definitely really nice legs on this. Nice mouthfeel. This is very good. There's so much. I'm just looking because I wrote down all these mash bowls for this review, and I'm just amazed. And I'll say it again: it's the complexity. And this one is really complex, but all of them. The last one, even the one I did in Florida, at a minimum, there's been 3 different blends. This one has 4. The complexity, the blending, again, all the mixture of ages of different mash bowls. I think this is extremely unique. And again, this is a sample. I don't have the bottle, but I remember when the one that I did buy the bottle, it was a lot of disclosure on the bottle itself. So this is really good. And I like this a lot better than I was predicting just based on the higher rye content. Now, if I have to think about this versus 11, it's pretty close. I probably would say, for me, just myself, my taste, probably Discovery 11 a little bit better because, again, this is maybe more of the rye, but it's not by a lot. It's pretty close. So if I had a lean, maybe that one, but I like this a lot more than when I saw what the mash bills were. I think this is really good. I mean, this is really good. I'm sure the rest of this is going to be gone too. Anyway, so this is a winner. These Bardstowns are the real deal. So again, Bourbon Barry, thank you. I appreciate you. I really thank you. And we got more samples to come. And again, if you're not following Bourbon Barry, definitely follow Bourbon Barry. Great guy, great content. Cheers, take care, and thanks for watching.